Okay, we have some physics experiments going on in the background, so if you hear any yelling, then one of them went poorly. We're using this computer, so this is a different program than I usually use. It has nicer pens and I can draw straight lines because I have a ruler. However, the video editing is not as nice, and so that's why I generally don't use this. But we're going to use it because we're going to do some graphing. So this is a graphing review, and we're going to use this problem. We have the point, I need a pen. We have the point -3, -1, and it is on a line that is parallel to the line x minus 2y equals 5. And so the first thing I'm going to do, so we could put this in slope-intercept form, this x minus 2y equals 5, but I'm not going to do that. This is, if you remember, standard form. And what we can do is if we plug in 0 for y, it will give us our x-intercept. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to plug in 0 for y, and that gives me x equals 5. So when y equals 0, x equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have a point there. And then when x equals 0, we have -2y equals 5. Divide both sides by -2. And y would equal -2.5, right? 5 divided by -2, -2.5. So we're going to go down 1, 2, and a half. So right about there. Okay, so this is my original line. And this is me trying to draw a straight line using a ruler. It will be much better than anything that I've ever done on the board. I can at least say that much. And so we have this line like that. Okay, and that goes on forever, and that goes on forever unless otherwise said. Okay, so that's fine and great. The only issue with doing it this way, because I mean that's a great way to graph it, but we need to know the slope because we're doing a parallel line, right? So let's go ahead and actually put this into slope-intercept form. And that's y equals mx plus b. So we're going to move our x to the other side. So in order to move our x to the other side, we are going to subtract x from both sides. Not 5x. Thank you. Okay, x minus x gives me a 0. It cancels. Gives me a -2y equals 5 minus x. Okay, and then I need to divide everything by -2. And I get, that becomes a y. I'm going to rearrange this a little bit. I get x over 2 because I have a -x and a -2. The negatives are going to cancel out. I get x over 2. It's going to be 1/2 x, and then minus 5 divided by -2 is the -2.5, which this lines up, right? We have our, this is our point -2.5 on the y. And if we look at our slope, our next point is right here. So we went up a half and over a full. That, sorry, right. Sorry, let me try that again. Rise of 1. So if we went up 1, well, let's just do this. We'll do a rise of 1. Okay, this should not be this hard. It's because my point right here is a half, and I want it not to be a half. So if I go to -3, then right here and right here. Okay, so this is -3, and that means I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a distance of 6. And then I go up 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have a rise of 3. And so my slope would be 3 over 6, which reduces to 1/2. We want, though, a parallel line to this. So we need a slope that is also 1/2, but it also has to pass through the point -3, -1. Okay, so we're going to set that up. Y equals, let's use a different color. Y equals 1/2 x plus b, passes through the point -1, -3. So we're going to plug those in for our y and our x. -1 equals 1/2 -3 plus b. That becomes -1 equals -1.5 plus b. Add 1.5 to both sides. And b would then become 0.5 or 1/2. So for this one, and that's positive 1/2. So for this one, we have the same slope, but our intercept is right here. And we have another point at -3, 1, 2, 3, -1. So if I take my ruler and draw another straight line, they will be parallel. Okay, so parallel lines, same slope, different y-intercepts. But I just really, what I really want you to do is be able to see how to graph these. So all you need to graph a straight line is 2 points, and we're given 1 point, -3, -1, and then we can figure out the other one. We figured out the y-intercept, which was 0, positive 1/2, right? Okay, I am going to do a little bit more with this. I'm going to do a perpendicular line as well, but so what I'd like you to do is just take a minute and see if you can figure out what an example of a perpendicular line would be for this.